Hello, everybody. Today is April 21st, and I would like to talk about my square foot garden. We just started some seeds yesterday. We made some major changes this year. I would like to talk about how we made those changes and why we did them. I did take some videos yesterday as we were completing the work, but it was so windy, the videos were useless. Seems that my camera picks up all those wind noises. So I'm using my phone for this. Hopefully this is going to work better. So here it is. We have 4 garden beds. They are 4 by 8, which gives you 32 square feet per bed. Times 4, that's, let's see, 32, 64, 128. So in theory, if we wanted to plant, say, just tomatoes, according to the square foot gardening method, we can have 128 tomatoes in this area. We've had this for about 3 years. Now, for the last 3 years, I have used these for the grids. I'm going to go ahead and move them to one of the beds just to show you how we use these. Now, these are called corner beads. You find them in the building supply area of your Home Depot or Lowe's. Normally, they come like this in one piece. You put it over the corner of your walls, and you put plaster or mud over it, and it helps you get that nice edge. And what I did, I went ahead and ran the box cutter through the middle and just separated these two pieces. And the way we used them, we had them laid on the soil like that, and pretty much just had 3 running this way, and however many we needed to create 1 square foot squares. Now fast forward 3 years, these things are discoloring, and they're getting brittle, and they're snapping easily, so they're no good. Got rid of them. So I needed a new grid. Another problem I had is a couple of years ago, we went on vacation. When we came back, the grass was like 1.5 feet, 2 feet high. It went to seeds, and those seeds got blown by the wind into my garden beds. We had, the grass was cut, and again, more seeds went in the garden. So last year we had a really nice grass right here in these beds, which is not desirable. At least I didn't like it. So I needed something to block that grass from coming up again. We looked at using straw. We looked at using wood chips, as mulch. Didn't quite like that idea, especially when it comes to planting things like carrots, when you need to do 16, or you can do 16 in 1 square. I don't see how it is possible to put straw or wood chips and still put 16 seeds in 1 square foot. So I decided to go ahead and use landscaping fabric. So here it is, landscaping fabric. I thought, hey, we can draw on it. So let's put a grid. And there it is, we did. Like, why don't we just go ahead and turn it into a template as well? Make holes for the plants. And that's how the idea of the square foot gardening grid weed blocker template was born. I'm pretty happy with it so far. It worked very nicely for sowing the seeds yesterday. We knew exactly where we're going to put them. It was easy to get the kids involved. So took this weed cloth or landscaping fabric, used white pencil to draw the lines on it, You might need more than one pencil because you're going to end up sharpening that thing and it will get shorter and shorter. For the holes, at first I was using scissors. Didn't work very well. I had an X-Acto knife and a cutting mat that I owned since my artsy days. So that came pretty handy. So for those of you familiar with square foot gardening, you put, based on the type of plant, say a tomato, you give it 1 square foot because of the size and how much soil it needs for its roots to spread. So it's the size of the roots, the size of the plants. Wax beans, for example, 9 per square. Now I'd like to call this square foot square because I'm also adding other plants in the corners of the squares. If you see here, like we have this pepper, colander pepper. Right here in this corner, there's going to be marigold, a basil here, another basil there, tomato, calendula, basil, eggplant, nasturtium, basil, tomato, basil, marigold. And the idea is to put beneficial plants next to their companions and also to confuse bugs. I think the best example is probably here. We have thyme. This square here is going to have 2 sets of thyme clumps. If you look this way, there's broccoli rabe and Brussels sprouts on the other side. Now these two here, Brussels sprouts and broccoli rabe, they are victims of the cabbage moth. Well, victims of the caterpillars from the cabbage moth. That nice looking white butterfly that you see, that's not a butterfly, that's a moth. And it will tear up your Brussels sprouts and cabbages, any brassicas. And the thyme will actually deter it because they don't like the smell. So the different sizes here, the different sizes of the holes, depend on mainly 2 things. One is the size of the plant itself. The Brussels sprouts, the main stem gets pretty thick, so we have a slightly bigger hole. Green beans, it doesn't get that thick. They don't have as big of a hole. Now for tomatoes and plants that we started indoors, I pretty much cut the hole to match the size of the cup that the plants are in. Basil, I have that indoors as well. It matches the size of the container that they're in. Peppers, eggplants, same thing. One more thing I'd like to add is I like vermiculite. Vermiculite is a sandy looking volcanic rock, and its main advantage is that it has a great ability to absorb and retain water. Once it absorbs that water, it cannot absorb anymore, and it will help with drainage. So it will hold on to just the right amount of water. And what I did here is, for the radishes, for example, I went ahead and put some dimples on the soil. I'll go ahead and do it here on the basil just to show you. So put a little dimple, put the seeds in there, and then top it with vermiculite. And that will provide some moisture for the seed. It will also protect it from getting blown by the wind or eaten by birds. And because of its texture, that sandy texture, when the seeds germinate, they're not going to have a problem poking through the soil. So here it is. We got many things started yesterday. Okra, melons, peas, let's see, cucumbers, dill, different kinds of lettuces, broccoli raw, Brussels sprouts, squashes, all different types, nasturtium, calendula. We still have some plants indoors that we're going to start hardening off as soon as we get some warmer weather, and then we'll bring them out here. I'm excited about this garden this year. I think we started at the right time. Some of the plants might be a little late. Some of them might be a little early. But it's gardening. It's not chemistry. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know what you think. Any comments, if you have any questions, or if you see that something is not right, please let me know so I can change it as soon as possible. But this is my square garden. Until next time, take care.